Okay, folks, I'm back. It's the afternoon, April 6th, Wednesday. I've got the air conditioner running. I've got some new hearing aids, and I got the headset on. And it's not noise canceling enough, or let's put it this way, I probably don't have the settings done right. The Bluetooth on the headset works okay, works fine. A little difficulty hooking it up. The Bluetooth is also on the hearing aids this time, and there's a conflict. So this may work out. I just have to figure out how to shut the Bluetooth off so I don't get the sound in the hearing aids. And I know it's a real simple page setting. He showed it to me once in the office, and I didn't ask him how he got there. And looks like I'm going to be going back for a follow-up visit just because of that. The new hearing aids are great. Man, when I got outside, I heard a bird sing, and I hadn't heard it sing in a long time, and it almost brought me to tears to be able to hear that bird singing. The other hearing aids were quite good, and they were a major improvement, but I didn't hear that bird before. And so I'm thinking maybe I can go back to listening to orchestral music and actually hear the details in the mid-range, the colors of those instruments as they come in. I was a musician professionally. Hurt my hearing. I do suffer. I've had some pretty bad bouts with tinnitus, pretty bad bouts with hearing pain. I don't want to bore you with my problems today. What I want to tell you about is that Gregory Mannarino, the Wall Street Robin Hood, he finally got it, and he came out with a video entitled that They're After Us. I think I put a comment on one of his videos, and I don't know if I tipped him off or not. I guess I'm trying to take credit for that, perhaps, but he's a pretty sharp fellow. Look, this is an atypical war, folks. The war isn't against the Ukraine. The war is against you and me. The purpose of it is to take us down. How they're doing that is now they have excuses to print all kinds of money. And remember what happened the first time the Democrats printed up money last year for COVID release? I can't really talk about that term here very much. Well, that money is what caused this inflation in particular. Now, I'm not going to blame it entirely on Biden. Why? Because Trump set some of this stuff up too. So both parties are to blame for this. Trump actually wanted to go negative on the interest rates. Really bad news. He wanted the stimulus and the growth so he could point to the economy and say it was him. Well, the problem is that the bankers are doing this to us. They're the ones waging the war. They're manipulating both sides, both parties. As far as the atrocities that you hear, the war atrocities the Russians are committing, I don't think the Russians have committed any atrocities. They haven't done any forensic evaluations of any of that stuff. So there's no reason to believe the Biden administration whatsoever. I believe people have been killed for sure. And I can tell you who did it. I'm pretty sure I know. It's going to be those militia groups. And I'm not going to refer to them by that derogatory slur, okay, that came about after World War II. I'm just not going to use that word if I can avoid it. It is the N-word as far as I'm concerned. The N-word stands for a lot of things in my life, including numismatics, and you can guess the other N-words. I'm not going to say them here, folks. In case you're wondering, the fellow carrying on the Kent name is a Negro. Okay? My Uncle George got married. One of his boys got married. He had 2 sons. One son went through the ice and died at a young age. And the other one got married several years ago, and he was in love and looking to having a family. So the fellow who's going to be carrying on my family name has got a swarthy complexion. I didn't plan it that way. Don't blame me. Anyway, if I can have children, I will. Carry on the Kent name, and I'm it. I'm the last one. So the war is against you and me. It's an atypical war, and Biden's waging it, and very successfully. He's responsible for this inflation. In case you're wondering, inflation for the nation is running slightly over 16% right now. And for Arizona in particular, it's running well over 17%. probably even over 18%. So we're going to hit 19% inflation, no problem. We're going to set records. We're going to make that peanut farmer from Georgia look like a genius, because we're not going to do just 19.5% inflation. We're going to go further than that. I wish we had a Paul Volcker. Paul Volcker is what you need right now, and he's the one that Reagan appointed, who did what Reagan told him to do. Do what he had to do to get inflation under control. And they raised the interest rates above the inflation rate. And we're nowhere near that. And of course, the spoiled brats on Wall Street are threatening to crash it all if they can't have their way. But they're going to crash it anyway. So I say we bite the bullet. And since we've been forced into an economic war with the Russians, let's fight it properly. First of all, we need a forensic examination of those bodies and death scenes. They were done by death squads, inherent homegrown boys of the Ukraine. Okay? They're paramilitia groups. All three of them have got the same little tiny insignia as part of their patches, only about that big on there. But it's a symbol of ancient Khazaria, and there's a specific name for it. I haven't learned it yet, but that's what the Khazarians fought under. All three of those regiments, or battalions, divisions, whatever you want to call them, are Khazarians. Who are the Khazarians? Well, you can go to my blog and you can see other videos there. I've been intending to put some more videos up to explain the Khazarians. You need to understand who they are. The term was coined by a gentleman from Arizona named Mike Harris, who ran for governor quite a while back. Mike is an older gentleman as well. He understands what's going on quite well. The people that he works with at Veterans Today have published a history about the Khazarian Mafia. You ought to go read that history. I got to read it again because there's things on that I did not know. The Khazarians interfered in this country in World War I, II, and III. And they also did a civil war to us. They were involved in the War of 1812, which our bankers helped them out with. That's why we passed the original 13th Amendment, and it is the law of the land, by the way. 10 out of 13 states ratified it, voted for it, passed it. It was ratified. The state of Virginia and the state of New Hampshire, which people forget about, little tiny state of New Hampshire, they were wise enough to pass that son of a gun. So I need you to become wiser to realize that this war is against the United States of America. And as far as I can tell, those failed helicopter runs into Mariupol, whatever it is, that Greek section of the Greek section of the Ukraine, they were going in there to remove our warriors. And I'm going to bet I know for a fact there's French in there and British in there. You can call them mercenaries, subcontractors. They might be full-time soldiers for all I know, special forces. But I'm willing to bet you US of A's in there too. Because one of those raids required the Ukrainians to have warnings about the Russian coverage for those areas, the Russian radar coverage, and where the holes were so they could punch holes in it and get their job done. So that means we've already been involved in that. We're involved in the combat over there. Don't kid yourselves. Don't let them do it. Let's stand this one out. We don't need to do this one. Let's be peacemakers. Blessed are the peacemakers for a reason. And of course, these Khazars, what they want to do is they want to sucker us into, yeah, let's go get them. And then they say, oh, it's on them now. So that's what they're trying to do. So you've heard about all of these skirmishes and battles the Ukrainians have won. Well, none of them is true except maybe one. Maybe two at the most. It looks like the Russians did not calculate properly. And in case you're wondering what the Russians are doing and why they're not leveling the place and just taking it like they could, is because Putin's exercising his military. Why? Putin might have bigger plans. In the Bible, it says clearly, 6 nations are going to join together against us. Now, Pastor Paul Burnham is gone, and he told me the countries, and I can't remember them all. But 6 of them. So you tell me in the notes here at the bottom who you think those 6 nations are that are going to go against us. And we're the real Israelites. We're the descendants of Israel. So who is it that's going to join forces against us? You got to remember, the Bible is being used by the evil guys. It's time the good guys use the Bible against the bad guys. Let's overcome their magic. Let's overcome their deception. These cats that are waging war, their motto is wage war by deception. Does that help you now? Come on, do your own research and figure it out. I can't go blurting out names here. They won't allow it. Besides, I don't want to do it. If you're going to be a bunch of dumbasses or pansies and sit on your ass and not figure out who the bad guys are and not resist this tyranny from D.C., if you're not going to risk this bankers war, folks, then you got it coming to you, and I can't help you. I can't stop them. You can stop them. Get this Bible. Become prayer warriors. Appeal to the name of Yahweh, our Creator, Heavenly Father. He put that book together for us for a reason. And He came in the flesh here for a reason. I know that reason. I don't think you're ready to hear it yet. But, okay. He came here to correct that error, that mistake that occurred, that sin that occurred. He came here to right that and to right the wrongs. He came here to fix the damage that's occurred from the fallen angels. You can call them aliens. I don't mind that. In case you're wondering, Michael was the name of the captain that defeated them in heaven, blasted them out of the heavens. All 3 of their ships landed on the earth. 200 of those fallen angels. Yeah. 200 of them. 1/3 of the heavenly host turned against Yahweh. And in case you're wondering, they actually are head of all of these organized religions. Every one of them's got a seat at their big table. They got the sun in the middle of it. You're not ready to hear it all, folks. And I don't know it all. I need your help. So you tell me who you think the 6 countries are in the comments. And do me one favor. Don't blab too much about this. We do need to get all on board as quickly as we can. This is a psychological war. This is a spiritual war. And we're going to be fighting that with our entire beings, with our very essence, because it's the only way we can win this one. They got all the cards in their favor. They're sitting at the controls for all of these weapon systems. They got the ears of all of the leaders of all the governments around the planet. They can whisper whatever they want in their ears. They can tell them to jump, and their puppets are going to say, how high? Remember, it's a stage. They're actors. Their strings are being pulled. They're all handled. They're all controlled. We're controlled too. And we're the ones that need to turn to Heavenly Father. We're the ones that need to appeal. We don't need to do it without Him. We can't do it without Him. And some of you out there are going to awaken to this in big ways. I'll tell you about my visions next time. I gotta go, folks. May the sons of Israel, the children of Israel, the sons of Yahweh and Yahshua prevail.